everyone, and welcome to my February and March reading wrap-up. I combined this month's books. I don't know why, I just did. There's a lot of books to go over, so I'll see ya for the first book. Hello. I actually have, hold on. I actually have 4 books to talk about. First book that I read in February was The Wedding People by Allison S. Patch. This was for my Goodreads video. Go check it out if you want. This one is about our main character who goes to this hotel to unalive herself. Yeah. But when she's there at the hotel to do this really crazy thing, she notices that the rest of the guests at the hotel are here for this wedding. I enjoyed this so much. We really get to go through our main character Phoebe, obviously kind of like what has led her up into making this decision. When she is interacting with the wedding guest, it is so good. The types of relationships and connections our main character is making with these wedding guests, and it's so good. You also just learn so much more about these wedding guests, and they just become so multifaceted characters. Big word. Loved this book. Loved it. I still think about it every once in a while. It was so good. I ended up giving it 4.5 stars. Like I said, if you want to hear more opinions, go check out that video. The next book I read was Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is about our 2 main characters who were previously married but have just gotten a divorce. They are now like being co-parents and trying to navigate that kind of stuff. They had like a lot of tragedies happen that kind of separated them for those reasons. I liked this book. I thought it was good, but like I just wasn't super into this one. I think objectively this was very good. I just think it just didn't catch me as much as I'd want it to. I think her writing was good. I want to read another book by Kennedy Ryan. Their romance, it was good. It was fine. But like I said, it was like one of those that I just didn't really care about. I don't know. It seems like maybe right book, wrong time. Maybe that's the trope me and her have. But it was good. Like I did enjoy it, but like I didn't care that much about it. I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. All right. I also finished Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. This is her newest release. This is about 2 college athletes. One of them is a diver, the other is like an Olympic swimmer. Main girl character starts hooking up with the guy through kind of an unconventional way, I guess. They start hooking up. It's nothing serious. Okay, I just like wasn't the biggest fan of this one. It was okay. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either. This book was so heavily focused on another character too, where it gets so annoying. And I've seen a lot of critiques about that. This one side character that is so heavily influenced into these 2 characters' relationship that is just so annoying. It's like, sister, get her out of here. And that's kind of how I felt. I found that character, 1, to be annoying. 2, I think the 2 main characters gave that other character so much grace that she didn't even need. And I was like, girl, like she owes you literally nothing. Like I don't know why y'all are so concerned about her well-being. Like move her aside. We don't care. I felt like this was just a very flat book. This is very spicy. If you do not like spice, don't even think about reaching this. I wasn't super into it for like the first 100 pages, and then I was like, should I DNF it? And I was like, no, I'll keep reading. And then I got to the halfway and I was like, wait, this is kind of good. And then I kept going and then I was like, actually, I don't know if I really like this that much at all. It was just okay. I ended up giving it 3 stars. And then the last book I have so far for you is I read The Score by Elle Kennedy. I have never finished the Off-Campus series, and I realized that I need to. And also, low-key, I was in the mood for another college romance. This one is about Dean and Allie. Dean is kind of like the playboy of this group, and Allie has just broken up with her ex-boyfriend. So Dean and Allie kind of get into a hook-up relationship so she doesn't try to go back to her ex. You know what? This one kind of ate. I was a little nervous going into The Score only because I love the deal, it's so good, and I hate the mistake. So I was a little nervous going into The Score because I was like, maybe it's just the deal. Maybe the deal's the only good one, okay? But I read this one and I was like, you know what? This one slays. I think Dean as a book boyfriend was just so like, ooh, like, you know what I mean? There is like one slight little plot twist that happens in this book where I was just not ready for, and I was like, oh, that I felt like kind of got dragged out just the tiniest bit. It was trying to do a fix-all kind of situation, but like, you know what? whatever. Them together as a whole, I didn't know if it was going to work, but I actually really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. Those are all the books that I have to share for right now, and I'll see you by the next one. Hello, I have finished a couple more books. Whoa, I rushed right upstairs now. I gotta catch my breath. I finished 2 books to end off February. The first one was The Right Move by Liz Tomford. I don't really know why. I just had like a hankering to like reread this, but I did, and I loved it. Hey, second time going, I still love these characters. I love Indy, I love Ryan. They are perfect to me. I love them so much. I don't know why I wanted to reread it. I just did. I low-key want to also reread Caught Up and Play Along again, just for and gigs, and I'm still giving it 5 stars. It was a great book. I think it's a perfect romance book, honestly. Does no wrong. And the last book I read in February was The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I have been in a hankering for summer. Me and summer right now are like this. This is about our 2 main characters who, during college, they get married for like student housing and family housing and stuff like that. They divorce, and it's been 3 years later. He shows up at her house and is like, hey, you know that divorce that we were supposed to have? Yeah, we actually didn't have that. You have to come with me to this island to pretend to be my wife still. You good with that, or like? And they're on an island for like 10 days for his sister's wedding. It's great. It is so freaking fun. If you need summer vibes and summer energy right now, highly recommend. I felt like it really truly gave me that summer fun energy. Like I'm sitting on a beach reading, and this is the book I'm reading, and it was perfect. I think I gave this 4 stars. It was just so fun, and his family is crazy. I feel like the girl brings in a lot of comedic aspects, which is really needed because there's a lot of shit happening. But it's so much drama. It's so cute. It's so fun. Loved it. 4 stars. And those are all of the books that I read in February. The first book I read in March was The Dollhouse Academy by Margarita Montemayor. Yes, her name is Margarita. I have been trying for, I think, maybe a year, trying to figure out if that's her actual pen name. It is. I don't know if it's her pen name or if it's her real name. Miss Montemayor, please comment below if this is your real name. If so, that's so iconic. Like, I love that. The Dollhouse Academy is basically about this like acting, like children's acting academy. And we are getting 2 perspectives. The first one being Ramona and her best friend Grace. They have just been accepted into this academy. They have to go through like this really, it's very intense, grueling, but it's like a very prestigious acting academy, and they make a ton of stars out of it, and they just got accepted into it. And then the other perspective, character who has been to the academy and is kind of reflecting back on her time there and kind of regretting ever going to it. It is a mystery thriller, which I didn't know at the time. I thought this was a literary, but it's mystery thriller. I was really into this from like the first 50%. It was so interesting just to see what was going to happen. I really liked the setup to this of them going to this academy, and like it just felt very like kind of dark academia-y, where they're going to this academy for acting and they're trying to become big stars, and like they're getting put through tasks and stuff. However, I think the last 50% of this book, it just kind of didn't go anywhere. It didn't really have a big direction, I think. Whenever this secret is revealed, it's kind of like, okay, like, but like, what did we expect? I don't know. It just didn't seem like a big shock to me. I knew what was gonna happen, so it was like, okay, well, I don't care. There's like a little bit of romance too in this book between Ramona and 2 other characters, and I couldn't care less about the romance either. And unfortunately, we tried to do a mystery and it just didn't work for me. I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. I still thought it was good. I don't know, the mystery for me just wasn't it. The next book I read in March was Magnolia Parks Into the Dark by Jessa Hastings. This is the last Magnolia Parks book. I highly recommend listening to the audiobook to these books. I think the narrators do a phenomenal job. I love them. I think they're the best audiobook experiences I've ever had. That's my little hashtag hack if you want to get into these books. I think the audiobooks are so great. This book is just so devastating. A lot of things that have happened in the second Magnolia Parks book, the ending of that one and then going into this one is just so heavy. It is so grief driven. It's very sad. I just love her metaphors though. I love her writing. I think her writing is so good. The metaphors she uses, the way she like describes things, the way they feel and think about love. It's just so interesting and it's so good. Like, I think she is such a good author. I really did enjoy it. I'm happy that their story has wrapped up. I'm so excited for the next Daisy Hates books. I ended up giving it 4 stars. And the last book I have to share right now is I finished A Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin. This is for a video that I'm gonna pray and I'm gonna hope that it's out by now. This is the second book to the Song of Fire and Ice universe, or the Game of Thrones universe, or whatever. The Song of Ice and Fire. It should be Fire and Ice, whatever. It was good. I did think that this one was going to pick up more than it really did for me. I think though, I just read this book for way too damn long, and I think also I was just so sick of being into this world. So I was like, you know what? That's probably why I didn't love this one as much as I thought I was going to, just because I'd been in this world for so long. I mean, it's a big book. This is almost a 1,000-page book. It was kind of hard to get through just because there's so much to this one. There's a lot of political setup in this one. It still feels the same way from Game of Thrones, where like the first 50% is set up and then the last 50% is so much happening. The setup is important, but I'm just like, get to the point a little bit. It was still really good and I did really enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. Yay! And I will see ya for the next books. Hello. I have been so bad about like updating this, you know. I've actually read quite a bit. The next book I read in March was Wild Side by Elsie Silver. This is her latest book in the Rose Hill series. This one is following Rhys and Tabitha. Tabitha has just kind of gained guardianship of her nephew. Well, it's kind of being contested by someone named Rhys, who has actual legal guardianship of her nephew. There's some other things happening. They're kind of enemies to lovers, marriage of convenience, single dad. I think all of these books are technically single dad trope. I enjoyed this more than I thought I was going to. I'm not gonna lie, the Rose Hill series is not my favorite. The first book I didn't really like. The second one was okay. And so in my head I was like, this one's probably gonna give okay-ish vibes. And I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I think maybe also because my expectations were low. At the beginning of this book, I feel like it's just so like, I guess typical enemies to lovers that I was just like, okay, whatever, I don't really care. It is what it is. I feel like their relationship did grow. It definitely was more of a slow burn than the other two. I feel like this one definitely like held her out, and I love a slow burn. And I feel like they had a lot to resolve with each other, so I kind of liked how it was more slow burn. This one's not my favorite romance, but I think this one's my favorite out of the series so far, which is really surprising. I really thought this was not gonna be my favorite. Still gonna give it 3.5 stars. It's still good. I did enjoy it. Honestly, this series so far really hasn't been my favorite from her. It is what it is. Next book I read was The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This is a historical fiction about World War II. We are following 2 sisters, kind of their different perspectives about the World War. One of them is more of like a radicalist and wants to help the revolution and stuff like that, whereas the other one is kind of trying to stay quiet because her husband's out at war. She also has a German soldier stationed at her house. This was so interesting to go over and kind of see like the women's perspective of World War II a little bit. They are also in, if you can't tell by the cover, they're in France at this time, and France, whenever World War II was happening, was occupied by the Nazis. That's also really interesting to kind of see. I just really enjoyed this. I think her writing was so good. I can see why a lot of people love this book, because even in the women, I just noticed that her writing is just so good. It flows so easily. I am gonna give it 4 stars. Okay, the next 2 books, I'm gonna talk about both of them because they're part of a series and I read them back to back. First one I read was Avalon Tower by C.N. Crawford and Alex Rivers. And then the second one is Veil of Dreams. Essentially what this book is, it's kind of strange. It's okay. This is a hear me out book, honestly. This one is about our main character, Nia, who is visiting France. I just realized I read this about France and now this one, wow, back to back. In this world, there are fays. They have like invaded France. It's kind of occupying it. There's this thing called the Veil, and like you can see it in the sky, and that's how the fae people like come down, I guess. This is the most confusing book, and I'm so sorry if I'm really gonna try to give it to you straight. She spots this kind of like group of demi-fae people. Demi-fae people are kind of in hiding from the fae because they're not real fae people or whatever. And all the fae people are trying to kill all the demi-faes. So the demi-fae people are trying to meet this contact person to get them to safety. And so Nia sees that they need help, and so she goes and like inserts herself and tries to help them. Well, when they meet their contact, she is then kind of thrusted into this academy called Avalon Tower. It's basically a spy academy based off of King Arthur. You're following? Are you following? Are we getting there? Okay, cool. There's other like lore things that are happening, but that's kind of the main gist. It's like every fantasy aspect you can think of, and they mash it all into one book. Like, I'm being so serious. There's fae, there's spies, there is dragons, there is magical powers. It's so funny just because like whenever I was reading Avalon Tower, I was like, why is this even a part of this? Like, it makes no sense at all. But there's just a lot of like world building things in this book are not necessary and don't really make sense. But if you really overlook all of that, this is very fun. This is very entertaining. I had a great time reading it. It's stupid. Like, let me also tell you that. This is stupid. The fantasy world this is in is not like a complex high fantasy series. It's just very like silly, I think, but it was very entertaining and I thought it was pretty good. Once I kind of started getting into it more, I was like, oh, okay, it's very entertaining. There's something happening all of the time. Loki, the second book is really good. So the second book, you're kind of following her in the Fae world more. Honestly, pretty good. It's silly, it is stupid, but it was really fun. I gave both of them 4 stars. The last book I have to share with you is I read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. We're following our 2 characters, Emma and Justin. Justin like posts a thing on Reddit, am I the asshole? Like those kind of things. And he kind of explains the situation of how he feels like he is cursed with love, or every person that he's gone out with, as soon as they break up, they find like their one. Emma sees the post and is like, oh my gosh, that happens to me too. They kind of bond over that. Emma's a travel nurse, so she travels to Minnesota where Justin is at, and they kind of get to know each other. They have like kind of this like deal thing that's going on where they go on 4 dates, they have a kiss, and then they break up afterwards. They're hoping that they'll break this curse after this. I really adored their relationship. Justin is a simp for Emma. If you love when the man falls first and falls harder, you will love this book. If he wanted to, he would book. Emma is also dealing with a mother who's kind of very tumultuous, and her mom kind of springs up upon her. And then Justin is also taking custody of his 3 siblings because his mom is going to jail. There is like a lot of like deeper things that are happening besides just the silly little romance. I like that Abby Jimenez does that. I feel like there is like some more like depth to the book when stuff like that has happened. So it's not just all silly and fun. There is some like actual shit happening to both of these characters. This book really like wraps up this like little interconnected series that she has. So if you've read Part of Your World and Yours Truly, you will also, you don't need to read them, but like you probably should, and then read this one just because you get to see all of the characters so far in those 2 books. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. Something about Yours Truly will just always have my heart, but this one was really good and I really did enjoy it. Yeah, those are the books that I've read so far. I don't know if I'm going to read any more. It was kind of like one of the last couple days of March, but if I do, I will see ya for the next book.
I didn't read any more books in March. That was it. That's all I read. Thank you for watching my February and March reading wrap up. If you like when I combined them, let me know. That is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.